Christmas and welcome aboard. This is Chris Van Allsburg, the author of The Polar Express. Thank you for coming along on this magical journey to the North Pole. As we roll northward, I'd like to tell you the story of what happened to me when I was 8 years old. The story of the Polar Express. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets.
It's like I have an HD TV, but it's a book.
I breathed slowly and silently.
Yeah.
I was listening for a sound. A sound a friend had told me I'd never hear. Ringing bells.
Why is his butt in there?
Oh wait, what now?
Why is his butt in there?
There is no Santa.
Yeah, I don't know.
My friend had insisted. But I knew it was wrong.
Looks like he's about to swear.
Late that night I did hear sounds. Not a ringing bells.
Oh boy, here comes my favorite part.
From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my
Oh, I know,
window
right? This is
and
my
saw a train
favorite page.
standing
This is my
perfectly still
favorite page.
in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around
Isn't
it.
it beautiful?
The conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest and looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard! The conductor cried out. I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course, was his answer. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed. White-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high, it seemed as if we would scrape the moon.
What?
But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster.
That's cool.
I know. That's where we're going.
The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains.
It's the North Pole.
We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole. It was a huge city, standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first
I'm not
gift
an elf, I'm a chef.
at Christmas.
Yeah, I know a lot about
Who
elves.
receives the first gift?
Yeah.
conductor answered, "He will choose one of you." "Look!" shouted one of the children, "the elves!" Outside we saw hundreds of elves.
Look at all those elves.
As our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole, we slowed to a crawl. So crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers.
Yeah, maybe.
When the Polar Express could go no farther, we stopped, and the conductor led us outside. We pressed through the crowd to the edge of a large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver sleigh bells that hung from their harnesses. It was a magical sound, like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart, and Santa Claus appeared.
There he is, the man himself.
The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and, pointing to me, said, "Let's have this fellow here." He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, "Now, what would you like for Christmas?"
Gotta wrestle the book. There we go.
I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine.
Oh yeah.
But the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa
Yo,
smiled.
he's fat.
Then he gave me a hug and told me now to cut a bell
Gotta be. It's
from the
a
reindeer's
cold place.
arms.
You gotta have a little bit of blubber, like me.
The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood, holding the bell high above him, and called out, "The first gift of Christmas." A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval.
Man, yeah. Woo.
Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeer's names. His team charged forward and climbed into the air.
That's all good. You never know what to expect on a moving train.
Santa circled once above us and disappeared in the cold, dark, polar
Luckily,
sky.
I've got my rail legs in.
How can a reindeer hold him? He's so
As
fat,
soon
he'll
as
probably
we were back
fall.
inside the Polar Express,
They're very strong.
I don't think anyone can carry Santa.
Uh-oh.
The only thing I felt was a hole.
Oh, man, you guys gotta check your pockets. Make sure you don't have any
I'd
holes
lost
in your pockets.
the silver
No
bell.
holes in the pockets. That's just a recipe for disaster.
Let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch
No, I'm
and
good.
started moving.
We're rocking and rolling.
We're on.
Breakfast tired today, so that's why it's a little bumpy. That's my girl Josh. Something gonna train me to be an engineer one of these
There's
days.
lights.
It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children.
This is nice.
I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I didn't hear him.
We got Herman style Pullmans too.
What? I yelled out.
Bet you they got it.
He cupped his hands around his mouth. Merry Christmas! He shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. Had my name on it. Inside was a silver bell. There was a note. Found this on the seat of my sled. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C. I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yes," said my father, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had knocked for the sleigh. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear the sweet sound. Though I have grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.